Not cowed, Bobi Wine tickles speaker among once again, calls for citizens uprising to protest M7 regime opulence. MulengeraNews.com, by Mulengera, December 18, 2023 at 9 p.m. by Mulengera Reporters. The NUP president Bobi Wine, who is about to unleash a new law, has lately endured a lot of belligerent relationship with the Parliament of Uganda leadership, especially after he recently spoke to BBC and disputed motive and circumstances under which MPs of the Anita among-led 11th Parliament unanimously voted for the law that further criminalized gay activities in the bill that was sponsored by Asuman Basalirwa, who until recently was thought to be Mr. Wine's ally. Since they consider the enactment to be one of their biggest achievement, the not-so-popular leadership of the 11th Parliament has been very critical of Kyagulanyi lately, including dedicating sessions to condemn the contents of his BBC interview. The Speaker has not only instigated members to castigate Kyagulanyi on the floor but has also openly been inciting the more than 50 NUPs, many of whom wouldn't have won their 2021 races if it wasn't Bobi, to revolt against the NUP Principal, who arguably is currently spontaneously the most popular politician in Uganda. Not one to go down without a fight, Mr. Wine has had thousands of his social media warriors, especially the immune ones in the diaspora, vigorously attack Speaker, among who actually as of today ranks among the most demonized public figures among Ugandan social media audiences. But this Monday evening, Mr. Wine took the bull by its horns when he posted a stinger on his socials. Leveraging on the pompous event that Among held this Monday morning at Parliament, where she handed over SUVs, each estimated to cost SHs 700 meters, to former speakers of Parliament, Bobi Wine stated that the Museveni regime in which Among serves is one that is both insensitive and opulent. That the regime is also disrespectful of millions of citizens who are struggling to put food on the table and other basics of life. Even when all these monetary and non-monetary, exemplified by the posh vehicles, benefits or entitlements created under the 2007 Parliamentary Pension Act, as amended in 2022 at the instigation of Anita Among, who had just become Speaker, Bobi Wine is calling on all well-intentioned and patriotic Ugandans to rise up and revolt against this clear indifference by the regime. He is concerned that the former speakers on whom such opulence is being splashed are well-accomplished men and women who don't require any financial assistance from the state in order to live decent and dignified lives. On this one, Mr. Wine is right, because Moses Kaigongo, Professor Edward Rugumeo, Edward Sekondi and Francis Budigira, who received vehicles today, are all materially well off. Whereas Sekondi was until 3 years ago the vice president, held the position since 2011, and has a thriving private legal practice in Kampala, Moses Kaigongo is among the richest Ugandans because he owns hotels in Kampala and opulent recreational facilities which daily bring him millions of shillings. Professor Rugumeo, who was minister and MP for years, is equally well off, just like Budigira, who powerfully chairs the Uganda Services Registration Bureau, URSB. They all sleep in some of the wealthiest and most upscale Kampala neighborhoods. Renowned for her passionate hate and contempt for Anita Among, even when she is eligible and a vehicle was lined up for her, Rebecca Kadaga stayed away from the handover ceremony for reasons which are well articulated in this related Mulengera news story. Hereunder is the reproduction, verbatim, of Bobi Wine's original message as released this Monday evening. Where is the common sense Museveni was talking about recently? The regime claims to be cash-strapped. Citizens are dying of hunger in different parts of the country. The regime can barely offer any meaningful services to the people. And what do? Spend billions to purchase luxury cars for former speakers of Parliament, some of whom still hold well-paying government jobs where they already have vehicles and convoys following them around. Each week, we wake up to a new scandal, new heist. The criminals in power continue to ask the citizens, what can you do? And yes, the citizens of this country must rise up at the earliest opportunity and put an end to this madness.